How's it going, guys? We're back for another SBT match. This is in the B League where we have Cheezitz versus Puckbud, and these two are very high up on the standings right now. We're 4 weeks away from playoffs, so it should be interesting. Do they decide to bring their actual strategies versus each other, or just gonna wait it out for the actual match and playoffs if they both make it? So, anyways, they're both here now. I'm guessing they both want this win. I'm gonna let them know that I'm good to go, and good luck, of course. And let's see this. So Cheese brought his Mega Mawile, his Tornadus Therian, Muck Alola, Raikou, Como, and Mudsdale, while Puck brought his Decidueye, Swampert, Incineroar, the Gardevoir, Jirachi, and Thundurus Incarnate. So it doesn't look like he has to bring his Mega Beedrill this time around, as we have the Tornadus in against this Jirachi, and it's interesting how this Tornadus actually outsped the Jirachi even while being Scarf. So this Tornadus might be Scarf then. I feel like it has to be, unless Puck undersped there, but it's not actually Scarf. That's interesting. So maybe this Jirachi was more of a bulky set with just Scarfs to kind of just get off a trick. We know that it doesn't have an item anymore. The knockoff actually didn't do too much there, so I'm guessing this Jirachi is more physically defensive, and there goes that trick. So trying to trick that Tornadus could have been Z move, of course, that probably wouldn't have been the best. But in comes the Gardevoir now, as the Raikou came in. Gardevoir taking really nothing from that Shadow Ball. And Mudractus, the Raikou here, just sitting in here. I'm not too sure if it's choiced in any kind of way, but in comes the Tornadus, and Gardevoir misses that Willow. So it looks like right now these two are kind of in a standstill and just trying to scout each other out, especially with this Tornadus being in. He's just going to go for the taunt. He's making sure that he can scout out a lot of Puck's team before he decides to make any aggressive plays. Just so you know, guys, if anyone else wants to join the call, I left it open, so um, otherwise it's just going to be myself recording this match. So in comes the Swampert in as the Muck had come in, so very nice initiative that Puck wanted to get up his rock right here. Obviously, Cheese can come in too late if he wanted to taunt, but he can still defog. If he goes for a defog now, we know that he doesn't have stab, so it could be a little bit better for Puck, but I think knowing that Cheese has a Mega Beedrill, this Tornadus might actually want to have some kind of coverage for it. So if it's like Heat Wave or just Acrobatics or Air Slash or something, then he could have that. I don't think he exactly needs Hurricane. Sorry, guys, that came out of nowhere. But if this Tornadus also has Grass Knot, he could go for it. Puck looks like he decides to maybe predict that, but it looks like he was actually Z move, and he's probably the Z Hurricane, as I thought. 1 second, guys. It gets a little bit colder nowadays, and I get the sniffles, but the Thunder's now in on this Tornadus. Of course, it's a pretty low health right now. If the Thunderous wants to go for the knockoff, it could take out this Thunderous as well. We know that it's not Scarf, so if Puck wants to save this Thunderous, it's been doing well for him so far in this season. So he doesn't really have the best knockoff switch. Like Incineroar can come in if he wants to do that. Looks like Puck actually just decides to forfeit his Thunderous and get a Thunder Wave off on this Tornadus, because Tornadus has become a very big nuisance to Puck. Just knocking off stuff, gaining Cheese momentum, taunting everything. So, excuse me. But now that it's paralyzed, it's a little bit more easier to navigate around, and Puck actually can get his own kind of initiative. Puck's team being that kind of orientated team. So, excuse me. All right, so in comes the Jirachi now. Going for a Doom Desire, very interesting. I'm also interested to see if this Jirachi has something like Wish, but if he has the Wish, it really means that he probably doesn't have any other kind of Um, he has the future side as well. Very interesting. He has a double stab that can hit later on in the turn. Anyways, something is coming in to take this Doom Desire. The Muck comes in to take his takes some rocks and the explosion. Sorry, the Doom Desire as well as the U-turn down below that 50%, and he can't recycle right now with his Swampert in front of him. Um, uh, Puck actually decides to throw out a Skull, predicting maybe Cheese to swap out there. Cheese probably didn't want to risk any kind of burns or just an EQ in general. So Torn comes back in. He can still be kind of useful to gain Cheese some initiative since he's slower than everything. Well, he might not be slower than Swampert, but if he is, he can get a slow U-turn off and then bring in something that can kind of take on most of Puck's team, potentially even the we do see the knockoff getting rid of Swamper's leftovers. We do see that this Tornado is still actually faster than the Swampert even after the paralysis. So um, it doesn't look like Cheese is going to be getting off any slow U-turns. And if Puck switches out here, Cheese will still get the initiative. But otherwise, if Puck decides to stay in, and he could very well stay in, this Tornadus is not threatening this Swampert in any kind of way unless he throws off a Hurricane. And if that's the case, he has to break through paralysis and land a Hurricane. So, but still very nice. Cheese was able to get rid of the Swampert's longevity and leftovers. And it looks like Cheese wants to just forfeit his Tornadus right now. It did well for him in the early game. Tornadus is a very good early breaker slash disruptor. Cheese can now bring in his offense and perhaps try to set up, but if this Swampert wants to stay in and perhaps go for a Skull Burn, that could be a little bit harsh for Cheese to deal with. Now, this Como could very well be Swords Dance, but we actually do see the sub, and Puck actually decided to go for that burn, and we do see the belly drum. So this is a very scary set that Cheese brought here. If he has the correct coverage, this could very well be a game if Puck doesn't play his cards right. If he wasn't ready for this belly drum, Salakberry, Como now being at +1 and max attack, Cheese has already got rid of that Thunderous, which could paralyze him. Gardevoir is not scarfed. Jirachi is not scarfed. The only thing that can maybe take it on is the Incineroar, which has Intimidate. And unless Puck has some kind of phasing like Roar, as they're talking about in the chat, I don't know how Puck can get out of this situation unscathed even. So he is at 19%. If Puck can kind of do what he needs to do, if he has priority on Decidueye, then maybe he can get away with it, but he's going to get a lot of health back from a Drain Punch right now. I don't know how Puck can actually get away with this. So we do see the Drain Punch. Obviously, Cheese doesn't have to predict too much because he's at +4 and +1. The Decidueye could have priority. Cheese could be bulky enough to take it, though. I'm pretty sure that Como does take a Shadow Sneak at this range. I could be wrong, however, but it'll depend right here. I don't think this is who I can take a max attack +6 Dragon Claw if that's what Cheese has right now. There's an Ice Punch and actually KOs the Decidueye. I think this is game right here. I don't know if Puck has any kind of answers for this Como. The Decidueye seemed like it could have been the only thing, and it didn't have priority. So unless Incineroar wants to come in and try to intimidate, this is going to be a very, very long match, a very short match, sorry. Incineroar could also have the Fake Out, and he could shuffle between that. But at that point, he's getting rid of all his answers for the things like Mawile. Incineroar obviously being in the back for Mawile. Otherwise, Jirachi is the only thing that can maybe want to take on the Mawile, but if Jirachi gets Sucker Punched, it'll be over for Puck as well. This could be the end of Puck's undefeated season. Obviously the intimidate shuffling could be helpful. He could be trying to get it in range of Swampert. Um, but she's just gaining health back from all this all the shuffling Puck's doing. I think Puck's very desperate at this point. He didn't expect this sort of set from Kumo. The Belladrum Salic Berry set is very common on the ladder. Um, Not as common in draft, of course. More things like defensive rocks or just Dragon Dance or Swords Dance is seen, and it probably didn't have the best matchup versus Puck. But since Cheese brought it, he got rid of the Thunderous. He got rid of things that can actually just check this Como. Puck has no more priority. It's looking very good for Cheese right now. Um, Como is at +4, but that's still a lot of boosts. And I don't know if Puck wants to continuously do this. Gardevoir at this range might take a hit. We know that his only attack to hit him is the Ice Punch. It is at +4 though, so I believe it'll still take out the Gardevoir even at that range. Puck has to sack something right now anyways, and he can't bank on Gardevoir winning the entire match. So I think this is checkmate for Puck, to be honest. Cheese brought a very nice set and was able to set up the Como in such a way that pressured Puck heavily to the point where he had to continuously sack and shuffle and intimidate. Yeah, unfortunately, Puck, that might have to be the game. He can try and find an out, but to be honest, after sacking enough Mons here, I don't think there's going to be a way to recover in this match. Especially losing a Scarfer, losing his Prankster. Um, Very, very good setup for Cheese there. He preserved the Como to the point where he can actually get below the 25% range and get a belly drum off at the same time gaining that Salad Berry. So definitely good plays by Cheese there. Um, Puck, of course, always trying to gain the momentum in this match, but he just could not get around the fact that Cheese has a Tornadus, which is probably the best pivot in the game, um, or in draft, of course. There are other good pivots, such as this Incineroar, but having the fast pivot this match obviously did wonders for Cheese. So Puck definitely taking his time here, considering all his options. If he can try and maybe take down another kill, it's going to be tough, of course, because Cheese has no reason not to go for a Drain Punch right here, gain some health back. Um, and of course, a Gardevoir's Moonblast will one hit KO this thing, but to be honest, the Puck's never going to get a chance to Moonblast this Como. So in comes the Swampert. Of course, he has to sack it. We do see another sub actually, and I think that's going to be the game for Cheese because the only reason Puck was trying to shuffle around is because he couldn't switch into the Como. But now that Como is behind a sub here, um, it makes it even harder for Puck to get off a hit. So uh, Cheese gains more health back with a Drain Punch, of course. He's behind a sub now. Incineroar cannot intimidate him anymore. Gardevoir can't Moonblast him behind a sub. Uh, that's just going to spell out the game right there, guys. So I think Cheese is going to take this 5-0. And Como definitely taking 5 kills himself, I believe. So one unexpected turn of events here that Cheese and Puck, the two top seeds, I believe, right now in the B League division, going off against each other. And of course, they might have to play each other again in the playoffs, but getting a win right here was very, very necessary, to assert their dominance in the B League division. So that's gonna be it, guys. A 5-0 to Cheese. Puck could just not get around this Como after +1, after losing Thunderous and Jirachi. So that's gonna be the game, guys. GG again to both players, and yeah.